Hi, welcome to a 50-minute Vinyasa flow practice. My name is Kailey. We'll be doing a little bit more of a basic style Vinyasa today. That by no means means that it will be easy. Join me when you are ready in a comfortable seated position. And like with absolutely every posture that I suggest for your practice, if there's another shape that your body's craving or calling you toward, to open your practice at this point or later on when we're moving through a flow, if your body's like, yeah, she's saying triangle, I really feel like doing warrior one, please do your best to honor your own truth. So much of this practice is about accepting yourself exactly as you are. So we will settle into just an awareness of that space. You might let the eyes soften or close. Bring some awareness into your spinal alignment here, wherever you landed. See if it's possible to sit a little bit taller to find that alignment where the shoulders are over the hips, where the head is over the heart. It also happens to be, it's October 5th, 2022 today, which is the Jewish holiday of Yom Kippur, and I don't know much at all about Jewish tradition, so this may be a place where I should stay in my lane, and I'm choosing not to, but my understanding is this day is so much about forgiveness and about unconditional forgiveness or acceptance or love, which clicks 100% in with the philosophy of yoga. The Yoga Sutras say that when we reside in our true nature, we understand that we're perfect and whole and complete, that there's nothing to fix, there's nothing to change. So we might be able to meditate on that for a moment at the beginning of this practice. There's no performative element. There's nothing that you need to prove while you're on your mat. There's nothing that you need to figure out. Ultimately, the teaching is that we have all of the insight, all of the wisdom, all of the worthiness just built in to our fundamental essence, just by nature of our being. Just a few more moments here. Sitting back just a little bit further if you feel your shoulders starting to drift forward. See if you can bring some softness into the face. Relax any tension around your brow or across your temples. Take 3 long breaths. So big inhale through the nose, let the belly fill up a bit, expand. Pause for a moment at the top of that breath, let it swirl through your body. And when you're ready, open mouth, exhale. You can let the shoulders relax a bit more. Do that 2 more times, 1 more together. Big inhale. Let the lungs fill and the ribs expand in 360 degrees forward, to the sides, to the back. Open mouth, exhale. Let the ribs recoil, things settle. Take 1 more long breath on your own. You're hearing a ruckus of the 4-legged fur creature that I shared my space with. Finish your exhale. Bring your hands to your heart center. Interlace your fingers here as you blink your eyes open. Reach the arms up toward the ceiling, pushing the palms toward the ceiling. Keep the crown of the head pointing straight up, your nose pointing straight forward. So instead of lifting your chin here, keep the head and the neck in line with the rest of the spine. Big deep breath in. As you exhale, round your back, chin toward your chest, bringing the palms forward. Hug the navel gently into your lower back to find space in this lumbar vertebra. My goodness, Sash. Inhale, reach the arms up for your Sasha here. Breathe in, a noisy Sasha. Exhale, bring the palms forward, round the spine. It's a little kind of spinal flexion. Inhale, lift up and lengthen, reaching the crown of the head away from the tailbone. Exhale, palms forward, rounding your back. One more time like that. Breathe in. This time, take a spinal twist, bringing your left hand toward your right knee. Left fingers tap right back behind you. She's creating a nest on the sofa over there, so hopefully as we settle into our practice, she'll settle into her space. Nod the chin gently side to side. Inhale, look forward, interlace the fingers, reach the arms up. And then twist to your left. Take a couple breaths here. Maybe nodding the chin from shoulder to shoulder. And see if you can find a pretty full expression of this twist without forcing anything. So that's the kind of line that we're straddling here, is finding a full expression, finding a stretch, but not forcing. Forward, inhale the arms up, palms flip toward the ceiling. This time, come to your hands and your knees. Meet me in a tabletop position with the shoulders over the wrists and the knees underneath the hips. Spread your fingers nice and wide, and then draw some big circles with your shoulders over your wrists. Try not to dump into the lower back, so stay spacious in the low back. Use your core, your abdominals a little bit to find that support there. Switch the direction of those circles. Great. Walk the fingers away from the midline. So maybe all the way onto the edges of your mat, turn the hands away, and then shift the shoulders side to side. You can even bend into the elbow as you lean in that direction a bit. Last little bit here, turn your fingers around to face your knees. Walk the knees a little closer together, and then sink your hips back toward your heels. It's totally fine to walk the hands closer to the knees here. I'm just opening up through the insides of the wrists. Couple deep breaths there. Again, finding that stretch without forcing anything. So for me, that means I'm gonna have to back off a little bit, bring the hands a little closer to my knees. Another big fundamental principle of this practice is non-harm, right? So the word is ahimsa, and we're always going to approach these postures from a place of wanting to build ourselves up, learn about ourselves, never from a place of wanting to break ourselves down or cause harm or injury in any way. So find that meaningful sensation, breathe into it, get curious about it, without pushing your body into a place where it doesn't feel as safe or supported. Turn the fingers back around. You can tent the fingers here. Press into the finger pads around your back, little seated cat pose. We're going to come up into a seated cow with W-shaped arms. So as you lift up, extend the spine, bring the arms into a W-shaped, chin tilts up, big deep breath in. Seated cat, tent the fingers, plant right around the knees, chin toward the chest. Back into cow, inhale. One more cat here as you exhale. Walk the hands together in front of your knees, thumbs are touching, and then bring your left fingers toward the back of your head, toward the left side of your ear. Left elbow to right elbow. Inhale, open the left elbow up. Keep your hips planted on your heels, twisting through the ribs. Exhale, left elbow, right elbow. Two more. Breathe in as you open into that twist. Breathe out as you bring the elbow to the elbow. Last time, take a breath in, pause, press the floor away with your right hand, reach that left arm back. Find a diagonal line from your right wrist to your left wrist, or bend the left elbow if that feels better. Breathe in, and then bring your left hand down. We'll swap out the side. So right hand comes toward the back of your head, right by the right ear. Right elbow to the left elbow. Round the shoulders a bit. And then as you inhale, shoulder blades squeeze together. Press that left hand down into the mat. Exhale 2 more times, elbow to elbow. Inhale, open up and twist. 1 more, exhale, elbow to elbow. Now open up and twist paws. Reach the right arm back. Push the left hand down into the floor. Nice long breath in. Walk the hands forward, coming back to a tabletop position. Tuck the toes under here. When you're ready, lift up into downward facing dog. Lifting your knees away from the mat. Bend the knees a bunch in your first down dog. Find a lot of length in your spine. So in downward facing dog, a lot of the times people get kind of fixated on straightening the legs or getting the heels to touch. For your first down dog, prioritize your spine. Find length there. Give your head a gentle shake or a little nod. Maybe pedal it out 1 foot at a time, kicking one heel down toward the floor. From downward facing dog, walk your feet to your hands, leaving some space between the feet, like quite a bit of space. For ragdoll, generous bend in the knees. Catch the crooks of the opposite elbows here. You might separate your legs wide enough so that your belly can rest between the thighs. Do a little jaw check, a little neck check. Shake your head yes and no a couple times. Release the fingers down. Heel to the feet a bit closer together here. And then vertebra by vertebra, roll it up to standing. So we're in no rush. You might move a little faster at some point, but starting from a place where you're able to be mindful, reach the arms up. Big deep breath in as you stretch. Bring your hands to your heart on your exhale. Surya Namaskar A is our sun salutation. It's our warm up. We'll focus on the spine and the breath. Reach up on an inhale, full body stretch. Hold forward on your exhale. Catch the calves, tuck the chin toward the chest. Find your halfway stretch here. Push the palms into the shins, lengthen out the spine. And then plant the hands, step the feet to the back of the mat so you're at the top of a push-up. Press the floor away with your hands. Firm up the muscles in your legs. Shift forward and then lower all the way down to your chest the first time through. We'll take 3 cobra roll-ups here. Tent the fingers, bend the elbows. Come onto the tops of the toes. Toenails are down as you inhale, lift your chest. As you exhale, roll it down. Maybe the nose touches, maybe the forehead taps the mat. 2 more. Inhale to roll up. Keep pushing into the tops of the feet. Exhale to lower down. 1 more. Deepest breath yet. Broaden out through the collarbones here. And then downward facing dog. Tuck the toes under, press up and back. Set your eyes toward your knees or your navel or your toes as you breathe. Down dog is this check-in shape. So anytime you land in downward facing dog, this moment to kind of reset, see how things are feeling. Lift the heels up away from the mat, bend the knees quite a bit, press the hands down, and then walk your feet to the top of the mat. However many steps it takes to get there. Slide the palms to the shins once you're there. Find your halfway stretch and breathe in. Fold forward as you breathe out. Focusing on the breath, rise with the inhale, push into the feet as you reach up through the fingers. Hands to your heart on your exhale. We'll do 2 more sun salutations. Reach up and breathe in. Hold forward and breathe out. Find your half lift on the inhale. Plant the hands, take it back to high push-up. This time you choose if you're gonna lower half or all the way down. Halfway down is chaturanga, elbows squeeze into the ribs. Come into cobra or upward facing dog. Finish your in-breath, little pause at the top of it. Down dog with your exhale, send the hips back, press into your mat with your hands. Stay here, take a cycle of breath. Press back a bit more with your exhale. Hold the exhale, and then step, walk, or hop to the top of your mat. Halfway stretch, breathe in, find some energy. Fold forward and exhale. Rise all the way up, big stretch as you fill up. Bring your hands back to your heart. Last one, inhale, reach. Exhale, bow. Halfway lift, breathe in. And then flow through your vinyasa to downward facing dog. There's really no wrong way to get there. Moving with your breath, moving with an awareness of your body, maybe even an appreciation of your body or respect for your body. When you land in downward facing dog, kick your right leg back behind you. Put a bend in the right knee so that you can externally open that right hip, stacking it over the left. And then circle your right knee out to your side. So feel the top of the right thigh bone moving around in that hip socket. Switch the direction of those circles. Keep pressing down into your right hand just as much, if not a little bit more than the left. Extend the right leg long as you breathe in. Step the right foot behind the right wrist. Spin your left heel down. We're going to come up into warrior one. So the chest lifts, the arms come up. You can absolutely adjust your stance once you get there. Take the arms a little bit wider into like a Y shape instead of trying to bring the biceps right by the ears, and just notice if that gives you some more space. It's another one of these not right or wrong kind of alignment things. But how can you feel connected to your breath? What lets you feel a sense of strength in the posture, maybe pressing into the feet a bit more, but also gives you access to a little bit of ease or levity, right? So opening the arms a little wider, oftentimes going to relax the shoulders, release any tension in the neck. Press the floor away with your feet, engage your legs, big breath in as you bring the palms to touch over your head, maybe. We'll find warrior two. Slide the hands through heart center. Open the feet a little bit wider. Right knee is still going to stack over the right ankle, and then take the arms away from the midline. You'll notice my left foot was angled forward, and now the back foot, the left foot, is pretty much parallel to the short side of the mat, parallel to the back of the mat back there. Set the eyes over the right fingertips. See if you can pull the shoulders in line with the hips. A lot of the time we end up leaning way, way forward here. Shoulders come back in line with the hips. On an inhale, go ahead and straighten out that front knee. Ooh, a little hip hop there. Send your left hip crease back. Reach the right fingertips forward, and then bring your right hand to your right shin. We're finding triangle pose. If you have a block, you might plant a block inside or outside of that right foot and push the right palm into that. Left hand can come to the left hip. It might reach straight up. We're working toward a straight line between the wrists and the shoulders here. Or you might take the left arm forward for a side stretch. Pressing into the feet, imagine pulling the inner seams of the legs up toward midline. It's called Mula Bandha, a little bit of that root energy lock. So we're containing some energy in the legs. Add that side stretch. Reach the left arm forward here. Lengthen through the side body. Breathe in. Plant the hands, square the chest, step the right foot back to high push-up and flow through your vinyasa. Upward dog and cobra is an inhale. Down dog for your exhale. We'll try that on the other side. Left leg lifts. Bend the knee, externally open the hip, and then circle your left knee a few times in each direction. So you can make these circles really big, you might make them kind of small, but feel how that left thigh bone is moving in the hip socket. Switch the direction of the circles if you have it, and press more into your left hand. Take the left leg back, breathe in. Left foot steps forward, right heel spins down. We were in warrior one on this side. Take your time to set up your foundation so that you feel strong and stable in your legs. And then experiment with how far apart to bring your arms and your hands. So maybe you take the arms straight up, bringing them parallel to each other. Maybe you create a Y shape. You've got a lot going on in the shoulders. You might even bend the elbows and find a little bit more spaciousness that way. Perhaps the palms touch on an inhale. Maybe you even tilt the chin up and look for your thumbnails. Warrior two. Slide the hands to your heart center. Readjust your feet. Knife edge of your back foot is parallel to the back of the mat here. And then as soon as you find your pose, set your eyes to one spot on the horizon. You're softening the gaze, but containing some energy that way. Drishti is what it's called when you set the eyes to one spot. It has everything to do with the transfer of energy, right? So we're unable in this realm to create or destroy energy, but we do have agency over how we manage it. And so choosing to fix your gaze to one spot means that we're not going to be, leaking energy all over the space, which allows you to contain it in your body. So there's this skillful management of your breath, of your energy. Straighten the front leg, send the hips back, and then reach the left hand toward the left shin. Maybe you walk, right hand comes up or to your right hip or forward. Feel the shoulders melt away from the ears, lengthening out through the sides of the neck, and maybe even dropping the left ear toward the left shoulder for a release. Notice if your feet are slipping, maybe slide them a little closer together and press down through the big toe mounds. Left arm sweeps forward, anchoring into the knife edge of your back foot. Lengthen through the side body as you breathe in. Plant the hands, square the chest, step back, and flow through your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. And then we're going to add on a little bit and put that together. From downward facing dog, take the right leg high, breathe in. Bring your right knee to your right elbow. Shift the shoulders forward so they're over your wrists. Kick the right leg back, take a breath in. And then two more times, right knee, right elbow on the exhale. Pump the breath, inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Step forward this time for warrior one. Rise with the in-breath. Warrior two is your exhale. Straighten the front knee, take a breath in to prepare, and then triangle, right hand, right shin. Inhale, left arm forward. Exhale, high to low push up. Flowing through your vinyasa to down dog. On the left, inhale the leg. Exhale to the left elbow, shoulders over wrist, push the mat away. Two more times, breathe in. Breathe out. Pump the breath in. Out. Kick. And step. Warrior one, finish your inhale as you rise. Warrior one, exhale. Straighten the front leg, breathe in. Triangle as you breathe out. Add the side stretch, inhale, right arm forward. And then plant the hands, flow through your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, lower your elbows to the mat. So we're going to come into dolphin pose. Pretty challenging posture. Elbows are underneath the shoulders, so shoulder distance apart and right underneath the shoulders. Let your heels lift and then take your eyes somewhere between the forearms. So if there was like a little box between your forearms and your thumbs, eyes are somewhere in there. Walk the feet a little bit closer to the elbows. Come up onto the tippy toes, pitch the hips high. So you should be feeling the core here a lot. Push the arms down into the mat. Stay here or lift your right leg up. Keep pressing the elbows down into the mat. Lower and lift the left heel for 3, for 2, for 1. Swap it out, right foot comes down, left leg lifts up, lower and lift the right heel for 3, 2, 1. Child's pose, drop the knees, bring the big toes close together. And then soften your hips back toward your heels as you reach the fingers away from the shoulders, drop the forehead down. Just breathe in a way that helps connect you to your body again. It helps connect you to any sensations in your trunk, your shoulders, your abdominals. We'll take one more long breath. Stay for the exhale. Slide forward to your hands and your knees. Tuck the toes under. And then kick the right leg back behind you. Point the toes, bend the knee, look up. So imagine that the crown of the head and the right big toe could touch. Take a breath in. As you exhale, bring your right knee to your right elbow. Left toes are tucked under, right? 3-legged dog. Kick the right leg up, lift the left knee up, breathe in. Right to the right as you breathe out, back into our flow. Inhale, 3-legged dog. 2 more times. Exhale, right to the right. 3-legged dog, breathe in. Last one, breathe out. 3-legged dog is an inhale. Step forward as you exhale. Warrior 1, just like before here, breathe in. Warrior 2, breathe out. Front leg straightens, reach forward on the inhale. Triangle on the exhale. Here's where we're gonna add on. Reach that top arm forward, take a breath in. We're gonna find crescent lunge. You can do this in a lot of different ways. My favorite transition is back stroking this top left arm as you bend the right knee and spin the left heel up. Square the hips, square the chest, reach the arms up so you're on the ball of that back foot. Breathing in, finding your balance here in your crescent lunge. From crescent lunge, sweep the arms by your side, tilt the chest forward, start to shift the weight forward into that front foot. We're going to float the left leg up until you're in airplane. And always keep the left toes down like a little kickstand. Or you find that balance challenge, maybe even use the support of some furniture or a wall that's nearby. Soften your standing right knee to protect that joint space. And then kick back through your left heel as you square the chest toward the floor. So notice if the left shoulder is peeling open here. Come back to the breath, come back to your drishtis. You're setting your eyes to one spot. Maybe you're looking somewhere in front of your mat on the floor. Maybe you're looking forward to the horizon somewhere. We're going to step the left foot to the back of the mat for reverse warrior. Big step back, big bend into the right knee as you inhale, reach your right arm up. From reverse warrior, cartwheel your hands, frame out the front foot. We're gonna spin all the way open to dragonfly twist, reaching the right arm back. Start to point the toes, all of your toes, toward the right side of your mat. So you're coming onto the knife edge of both of your feet. And then maybe you let the hips kind of sag a little bit, big stretch for the outer edge of the right hip and thigh. From here, we're gonna take a wide-legged straddle, reach that right arm forward, pivot your toes toward the left side of your mat, finding a wide-legged forward fold. Couple cycles of breath here. Nice place to give your head another little shake. If you have an arm variation that you wanna play around with, go for it. My offering here, my invitation is interlacing your fingers at the nape of your neck, so the heels of your hands are pressing right behind the ears. And then just use your hands to slowly nod your head side to side. Decompressing any tension at the base of the skull there, there's upper cervical vertebra that can get really pretty compressed, holding our heads up all day. So letting gravity kind of help shake some of that out. Release the fingers down. Find a halfway stretch in the chest. Temp the right fingers underneath your chest and then inhale your left arm up and open, working toward a straight line between the shoulders and the wrists as you send weight toward your heels. Breathe in. Sweep the hands from the top of the mat. Pivot the right toes forward. We're going to find standing splits. Shift the weight into the right foot. Left leg comes up. Does not matter how high that leg comes up. You could tent the fingers underneath your shoulders for support. You might bring them to that right ankle or to your heart. We're here for 3. We're going to find the top of the mat in 2. For Malasana in 1. Left foot wide at the top of the mat. Turn the heels in and the toes out. Finding Malasana. This is our yogi squat. Bringing the hands to the heart. Might feel good to shift the weight from foot to foot. Release the fingers down. Feel toe the feet a bit closer together. And then reach the arms forward as you sit back into chair. So you're in a little bit like a hips distance stance chair. You can absolutely adjust the space between your feet. You might want the big toes all the way together. You might want them wide. Figure out what works best in your hips and your knees. Long inhale. Bend the elbows as you exhale. Gold post the arms here. Interlace your hands at your lower back, little shoulder opener. Big breath in, take the chin up. Keep the bind as you fold forward, straightening out the legs. Full breath in. Open mouth, exhale, let it out. Release the palms to the shins. Find your halfway stretch on an in breath. Plant the hands, step back, and then flow through your vinyasa. We'll meet in downward facing dog. See if I can remember what we did on the left. So already realizing from downward facing dog, we've got to drop the knees. Drop the knees to the mat, keep the toes tucked. Lift the left leg, point the toes as if you could touch the crown of the head with your left toes. Press into the mat to find that big in-breath. Left knee, left elbow as you exhale. Push into your hands. Kick back to 3-legged dog. Right knee lifts. Breathe in. 3 times. Left to the left elbow as you breathe out. 2 more. Totally fine if your breath is a little faster or a little slower than mine. We're in the journey together, but we're all kind of taking it through different pieces at different moments. Find warrior 1. And then exhale, warrior 2. Left knee straightens, take a breath in. Set up triangle as you breathe out. Right arm forward, inhale. We're going to take this into crescent lunge, however you want to get there. Maybe you backstroke the right arm. Bend the left knee, spin the right heel up, square the hips, lift the chest, lift the arms, and breathe. From crescent lunge, we're going to shift the weight forward, lightening the arms, tilt the chest forward, and then float the right leg up for airplane. Or remember, you can always keep the right toes tapping down for a little support. Push into the left foot, like really dig your left foot down, but keep the left knee softly bent. It's not locked out totally. Reverse your warrior when you're ready. Big step with the right foot to the back of the mat. Bend the left knee as you inhale. Left arm peels up and open. Frame out your front foot on your exhale. Pause for a moment. Spin the right heel up. Pivot the right heel to the left. Reach the left arm back, pivot all of your toes toward the left side of your mat, coming onto the knife edges of your feet, reaching back with that left hand. Wide-legged straddle, it's called Prasarita. Left arm rainbows forward, pivot the toes toward the right, find that straddle. Couple long breaths here. Keep your toes, or your heels down rather, but shift the weight toward the toes so you feel a stretch in the back side of the legs. Send the weight toward the heels now. Find a half lift in the trunk. Left fingers tent under your chest. Inhale, right arm comes open to the back. Exhale, sweep it to the top of the mat. Pivot your toes forward. Standing splits over here. Any arm variation that's serving you is great. Breathe in. Malasana, that's our goddess, our yogi pose, or yogi squat rather, at the top of the mat. Bring your hands to the heart. Take a breath in. Let it go. Release the fingers down, lift the hips, heel to the feet a bit closer together. Right into chair pose. Inhale. Lightning chair this time as you exhale. Sweep the arms back. 5 more. Inhale, chair. Exhale, lightning. Pump the breath. 4. 2 more. If you need more challenge, sit a little lower or breathe a little bit bigger. Hold your last lightning chair. Hold your last lightning chair. Lift up onto the toes. Heels come up. Reach the arms forward. Palms touch out in front of you. For 5. For 4. For 3. 2. Heels down on 1. Bring the hands to the heart. Standing tall. Take a breath in. Long breath out. Reach the arms up over your head as you inhale. And then shift the weight to the right foot. You're going to bring that left heel in toward your back, bringing the left hand toward the left foot. Setting up for a dancer pose. So both knees are, well, the left knee is pointing straight down, thighs are parallel for a moment. Get a good grip on the left hand, left foot rather, good grip with the left hand on the left foot. And then start to kick into that foot. Kick into that hand, my goodness. Once they're touching, they're like essentially the same thing in my brain. I have no idea. Start to reach forward a bit with the right hand. Maybe without slingshotting. And back up through standing without touching that left foot down. Bring that left leg around in front of you. Bend the right knee. We're going to set up a figure 4. Left ankle comes over the top of the right thigh. Hinge back through your hips. Set the eyes again, right? Especially with balancing postures. Incredibly helpful for your nervous system to have your gaze set to one spot. Gives your nervous system that visual stimulus that's not moving, which makes it easier for the body to find balance. Easier, not necessarily easy. We're going to bring that left knee back up into the chest, reach the arms up overhead as you breathe in, fly it back into airplane. The left leg kicks back, we're in airplane again. From airplane, just like before, reverse warrior, inhale. Cartwheel the hands to get all the way into that dragonfly variation, reaching the right hand back, putting onto the knife edges of your feet. Prasarita, that's our forward fold to the side. Breath in and out. Find your twist to the back. Hunt the right hand under your chest. Inhale, the left arm lifts up. Exhale, sweep the hands to the top of the mat. Standing split. Here we are. Breathe in. Knee to calf. We're going to find a little Shiva squat, bringing your left knee to your right calf. So the last little bit on this side, we're going to kick back to standing split on the inhale. Knee to calf as you exhale. A couple more, just oscillating between the split and the squat here. You absolutely have the option, if you've got something nearby, to hold on to something that you're not going to hurt yourself with, a chair or a wall or a door frame. For 5, a pretty big burnout in that right leg. 4. For 3. 2. Last one, we'll hold the Shiva squat. So hold your Shiva squat, left knee, right calf. We're going to extend a little bit more weight back, walk the hands back. We're going to bring this left knee all the way down outside of the right foot. Left knee all the way down outside of the right foot. Sit down onto your butt. Bring your right arm back behind you. Inhale the left arm up. And then find a twist. Hook the left elbow outside of that right knee. Long spine here. Maybe you start to move your eyes back over your right shoulder. We're gonna unwind this into a posture called balancing half moon. We won't be there for long. Look forward. Bring your right hand forward as you lift the hips, lift the left limbs and the trunk up. Balancing half moon over here. And lengthen out the spine from the base of the neck all the way back through your tailbone. Breathe in. Fold forward at the top of your mat. Shake that out a little bit. We've got one more side to go. Stand all the way up on the in-breath. Lightning chair as you exhale. Right leg's tired. Inhale back to chair. 4 more. Exhale, lightning. Breathe in. Breathe out. 2 more. You hear me with my pursed lips exhale. It's a nice option as well. Breathing out through pursed lips. Hold your last lightning chair. Lift the heels. Bring the palms together in front of you with long arms for 5, 4. We're standing up in 3, 2. Hands to the heart in 1. Hands to the heart, heels to the mat. Stand it on up. Awesome work. Last side to go. Reach up on an inhale. Root down into the left foot. Dancer on this side, catching the right foot with the right hand. Thighs start parallel, and then start to kick into that hand with your right foot. Finding a back bend, finding a stretch in the shoulders. Finding probably a pretty big stretch in your right quad and hip flexor. See if you can find a drishti that you can use for this whole balancing series here. So one spot on the horizon that doesn't move. Slow motion, bring that right leg forward and set up your figure 4. Guiding that right ankle into place. Hinge the hips back. From your figure 4, I'm going to bring that right knee back up into the chest. Reach up and breathe in. Fly it back into airplane. Maybe the eyes stay at that same spot. Maybe you move your gaze down to keep the neck in line with the rest of the spine. We've got reverse warrior next. Big steady step with the right foot to the back, bend into the left knee. Inhale up and open. Exhale, cartwheel the hands, pivot the toes, finding that side body stretch, left hand toward the back. Find your wide straddle. Take a breath in and a breath out. Sweep the right arm up, twisting for the back of the mat as you breathe in. Walk the hands to the top, pivot the toes forward, standing splits. Right leg kicks. And here we go, knee to calf. Kick to your split. Squeeze it into your calf. Couple more, moving like this. Notice if you're forcing, can you find a little bit more ease, and at the same time, find a little bit more strength or stability. So try a little bit easier without losing the integrity. So there's a sweet spot of effort and ease. The next time you found your squat, pause there. We're going to start to shift into that seated twist, slowly lowering your right knee to the outside of the left foot, sitting back onto your bum. Left hand comes back behind you, right arm lifts up, lengthen the spine on your inhale. And then twist, hooking that top knee. Almost there. So last little bit here, look forward, take a breath in. And then unravel, balancing half moon. Left fingers tent underneath where you think your left shoulder might end up. And then reach the right limbs up and open. Send energy through your top hand and your back foot. Breathe in. Fold forward at the top of the mat. Bend into the knees. Have a seat on your bum. And then straighten the legs out in front of you. Shake out the legs, bring the hands back behind you. Feel the knees bent a lot. Bring your hands back behind you. Keep the legs straight. Palms can point, or fingers can point forward or to the side. Squeeze the shoulder blades onto your back. So a little bit of a extension through the upper spine here. Press into the hands and then lift the hips. Tuck the tailbone toward the knees, point the toes. So we're in a reverse plank here. Squeeze the legs toward each other gently. You can keep your eyes up, or if it feels good to drop the head. Press a little higher through the hips. Big breath in, squeeze the legs, and then lower down slowly as you empty. Bend into the knees. Cross the right leg forward, and then slide your left leg back. So setting up for pigeon or deer. You can keep the left knee bent here, or you might stretch that left leg long back behind you. This could be your pigeon pose today with a more upright posture, or you could walk the hands forward. Maybe pigeon on the forearms, or perhaps even walking all the way down so that the head touches. Feel free to support yourself with pillows, blankets, blocks, whatever you have handy, so that you don't feel like you're fighting with gravity here, so that you can actually kind of settle into like an alliance with gravity and let the body start to melt. About 5 long breaths. Breathing into any pockets of tension that you're aware of. With your exhales, allowing that tension to move through the body and release down into the mat or the earth beneath you. One more long breath. When you're ready, press the floor away, lift the chest if you are folded forward. Just go ahead and switch sides, however you want to get to the other side. Notice if, like me, you're conditioned to be in a rush, right? And see if you can just experience like a little bit more spaciousness in that transition, let go of that sense of urgency that can be so kind of dysregulating for our nervous systems, moving from a pace that's a little bit more humane, a little slower, a little more connected. Take your time to find the variation of this stretch that's going to serve you well today. About 5 long breaths, breathing in a way that helps connect you to your body, that helps connect you to the moment. One more long cycle of breath. Start to shift out of your stretch, bringing the legs around in front of you. Straighten the legs out in front of you. Flex the feet, reach forward with your fingers. Round your back a bit and then draw the navel in and up. So Uddiyana Bandha, we're locking into some energy of the core as you start to roll it down, vertebra by vertebra. Full body stretch once your shoulders land. Inhale the arms back up over your head. And then optional, one last bridge pose. Bring the palms down by your side. Slide the feet down underneath the knees. Now lift the hips up and hold. You opt out of bridge. Start to work your way toward Shavasana. Maybe take a spinal twist along the way. If you're in bridge, press the feet straight down without without squeezing the knees against each other, energetically hug in as if you're holding like a really firm, thick pillow between the thighs. Lower it down slowly. Working towards savasana here, extending the legs away from the low back. Let the arms relax down by your side with the palms turned upright. Maybe shimmy the shoulders together underneath your chest. Let the whole body be held, bringing your awareness to the places where your body is touching the floor beneath you, and allow those spaces to start to melt. The back of the scalp, the shoulders, down the length of the spine, through the legs. Just notice if there are spaces in the body that you find some resistance to rest. Just allowing yourself to have a few moments of stillness, of introspection, of trust that you're worthy of taking up the space and of resting, that you did enough, and that very importantly, your true nature has always been and will always be enough. Listen for my voice in just about 30 seconds to close together. Ready, you can start to bring some gentle movement back into the body. Again, notice if there's like a sense of urgency that creeps in. See if you can just find the tiniest bit of resistance to that. So move a little bit slower than you think you need to as you transition from your back to a seat. When you land, bring your hands to your heart. Final moment of this practice to acknowledge that we do this work not only to take care of ourselves, but because there's this profound understanding that as we care for ourselves and show up with more presence in our own body and emotional space, our own mind-body organism that we're responsible for, we have more agency to show up for our communities in a way that feels aligned with our values, in a way that feels supportive. Take one last cleansing breath here together. As you inhale, fill the lungs, let the ribs lift, shoulders lift. Pause at the top of that breath. Open mouth, exhale to offer it up. Thank you for sharing your practice with me. Take care and be well.
Thank you, Kailey. Have a nice day.